Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi, I'm calling as a very concerned citizen, and I had a pretty serious question to ask the Department of Justice. How did Pam Bondi become such a... Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Welcome to the old Rage Pod. I'm here with good old Ebar and Friende Wende.
I'm here with the Tara Erickson, and also I am also here with the...
Hey guys.
Before we get into, because we're pissed at the world and the Epstein and the Trump and all of it all, I just wanted to say up at the top, because I'm the one they'll make fun of, but join us on Patreon if you can. We do lose money on the podcast. You can help support, keep us on the air. Patreon.com/TheRagePod. I'm saying it really, really fast to get it over with. I'll just start us off, man. I think all of us, we're looking at the news every day and the world and like the release of the Epstein Files and how I think right now, the two things that I told you guys, I texted you about, was that there's multiple other countries that are announcing criminal investigations into the people that have been mentioned in the Epstein Files, and the U.S. has done nothing. The one positive, two women went outside of UCLA, yelled out, ruined their voices, put his quote on the sign, turned his name around, and then a representative yesterday came outside and said his contract has not been renewed. We just wanted you to know.
We need to send her some lozenges.
We really
and
do.
Some throat coat. What if we started a movement? If you guys give us 50 cents, 25 cents of that will go to a year supply of throat coat for this incredible heroine.
I agree. What are you feeling though? Right now, what makes you the most pissed off?
I don't know. I feel like I've kind of have shifted to okay, well, what's going to happen? What's the what's on the chessboard? What's possible, what's not? Because I have two little girls, there's only so much that I have in my emotional tolerance to read some of this stuff before getting viscerally pretty fucked up. So then I just make Ben read it and then tell me what I need to know. But I'm more taking in what's, on the legal landscape, what's happening, on the political landscape, what's happening. And I mean, I feel like this all just circles back to we gotta show the fuck up and remember everybody. We gotta show the fuck up. The reason why there's no investigations is because Trump owns everything. He owns the DOJ. He owns the House. He owns the Senate. I mean, for God's sakes, his own fucking lawyer is the lawyer on this.
I think what's happening to me this week is that my rage is being inverted into sadness. I finally put two and two together is that I'm sure this is happening for survivors, any survivor of SA. I am being re-traumatized again by seeing what has happened to these girls because they're children. And there is no accountability. And I think back in my past, things that have happened to me, and I can't take it anymore. I finally hit my breaking point yesterday where I don't know what to do. And yes, we have to mobilize and we have to show up in November, but I'm also of the feeling of they're all fucking in on it.
That's the way that the system is built. And, what are we clacking on those keys, lady? Are you taking notes?
I was trying to remember the name of Virginia because it reminded me of what
Giuffre.
Virginia
Giuffre.
What Wendy was talking about. Because basically, how the re-traumatization. It's for her, everyone was like, "That's a Photoshop picture. That's not fucking real," and she was not believed forever. And now I just go, you know what? I hope we bury you 6 feet deep because now it's not a fucking lie and it is a fucking real picture and you can go fuck yourself. You tried to make her out to be a fucking liar and looky-doo, here's the photo and it was found like an unsealed like court document. Like I'm just, that part makes me upset. But the extra part is, yes, the freaking kids and how they did not redact survivors' names and addresses and phone numbers, and were basically handing out child pornography within.
They were punitive against these women. They're like, we're going to blow you up. And by the way, we're going to protect all these people. Like, as I told someone, I was like, there's literally a fucking page that has Epstein's name. And it's like a spoke of however many, I think it's like 10. And it's just, it's literally like you could almost make a tire that goes around the spokes, because it's just a bunch of black boxes of redactions, and these are the co-conspirators that the DOJ says doesn't exist. There's no co-conspirators.
And the collective outrage, it's like, we're not angry enough, and this is just going to blow over, and it makes me so angry, and it makes me want to, for the first time ever, disconnect from society. Like, it makes me want to check out in a way that I don't want to play this game anymore. I don't want to be a part of this system anymore. I want to move away to fucking Spain and be done with it. Like, and I love this country. Like,
and to be clear, she will also put Portugal on the table.
Portugal is also on the table. But
there's several options.
I don't know how to move forward from this. I don't know how to have small talk with people anymore. I don't know how to go into my office and compartmentalize. And I need to learn. I need to listen to what Logan Cooper told us. I need to limit my screen time. I need to make my group smaller, because I just want to be with the people that I love and that I care about. And everything else, I just want to shut it out. I want to shut it out.
I think we would be remiss if we didn't take this time, like, thinking about positive things that can come out of this. And I know, Wendy, you and I have talked about this a little bit, but there is a reason why there's a lot of Black and brown women particularly that are like, yeah, this is fucking horrible. I'm not as outraged as all you white women. You know why? Because we've been fucking living with this forever. This has been our reality that on this scale you haven't had to deal with until this moment. And I just think it's really important for us to reflect on that. Like, if we can, if people can take this moment, you know, whether you're looking at immigration raids and people being shot in the street, I think it's a good time for us to be like, wow, this has been the existence and the reality that you have had to operate in. You have had to navigate in forever. And, like, to me, that's a positive that can come out of this, of like, hey, maybe after all of this wreckage, a little bit more empathy grows in all of us, in those that have the capacity to have empathy in a wider range of ways. I know I was very much kind of in a similar place to you, Wendy, when the ICE raid started happening. It's always right, like, children and the women that, like, really hit you hard. I remember saying to you guys, I was like, I fucking hate this place. Mm-hmm. And it's important to have those feelings, because then eventually we don't stay in one emotional place forever. And I know I'm not saying that you do, but you shouldn't feel like you have to move out of this at lightning speed to get there. You have to go through these feelings. The level of corruption of not just allowing and perpetuating this to happen, but the level of corruption to allow for this to be shut down, for the AG and the DOJ just to say, like, yeah, okay, well, that's it. That's it. We're going to shut it down and have a nice day. And let's talk about a new golf course. Let's talk about a new, arch that we can give the president. Yeah, all of that's just a whole other level of assault.
Well, I was just going to say, to wake up to what you're saying, to wake up to him posting a freaking video of the Obamas as apes in the jungle today. I'm saying, like, it doesn't fucking stop. It feels fake and fucking surreal. It keeps going and it keeps getting worse, right? And I'm just like, so, like, the feelings is...
And that's by design, Tara.
Totally. It's just, of course, by design. And especially the way that he just came at that, the woman reporter for CNN, and
Caitlin
like,
Collins,
you never freaking smile. CNN is the most pathetic reporting ever. And I'm like,
Well, you guys, you know that like Quiet Piggy was off of a question about the Epstein Files. So this is like, none of this is fucking new.
I just feel like now with the millions more pages that we're seeing.
And the ones that we're not going to see.
Exactly. If they're letting us see an email with the name redacted that says your littlest girl was a little naughty, imagine what the is actually in there. Like, I'm telling you, it's over and over and over that I'm like, I get it, but I'm also like, wait, this is the drop, and this is still heavily redacted. This, to me, it's too much. I don't understand.
This is the whole point, is that it's too much, and this is a move that legal teams will make, right? Like, you flood with documents, so it's like so much that people will miss maybe the things that are actually that you can implicate on, the real pieces of evidence that you can move on. Like, unfortunately, a lot of like the worst stuff, and there's some really bad stuff that is straight evidence, but a lot of the worst stuff is on a tip line to the FBI. That has to be corroborated. Right. You know, that has to be corroborated. That's like, and that's where I think, like, when it comes to like the administration and the like sort of political positions of power, I'm just kind of looking at that as gamesmanship, because that's all it is. Like, that's all it is to them. I think for me, what's really hard is the everyday people that when you talk to and you're like, oh, you're going to have outrage about this. And there's somehow like a muted reaction of like rationalization. There's like a sort of selling to themselves in an attempt to sell you that in some cases that it's not as bad as it is. Like, literally, essentially, it's like the boys will be boys argument, which it's like, oh my God, then let's arrest all boys.
Like, don't.
If that's the boys will be boys, then we can't have boys anymore.
Right. Like, don't try to come at us as though we are burying a certain group of people, that it's like, oh, but like we aren't mentioning like the Clintons as much, or like why haven't we mentioned Biden? I'm like, listen, guys, if they are found to do I don't care who they are.
Oh, Democrats don't give a shit. Democrats have said this time and time and time again, and this is like a fundamental difference between both parties, is Democrats like, yeah, the justice needs to be served for people that were horrifically taken advantage of and in some cases were killed. So yeah, if it's about getting it out there, versus Republicans don't have that like same level of ethical responsibility. So they can just all day long weave in and out of like, oh, well, you know, we can give this person, but not give this person. And, you know, you're saying this, and it's like, oh my God, we are not, it's apples and oranges. And that's why it makes the fight so fucking lopsided.
And I was just going to say with that, you know, Hillary Clinton said, let's stop the games. If you want this fight, let's have it in public. You talk about transparency. There's nothing more transparent than a public and hearing, cameras on, like bring it all on. And like, I don't think that will, I wish, but I think it'll still be closed. But I agree with you where I'm like, yeah, I want it to be transparent. So if you guys are going to say like you're not hiding anything, then let's freaking go, you know?
Yeah, Comer originally wanted it to, like, they had said, okay, we'll give you a depo or whatever. And he said, yeah, it's going to be private, but I'm going to record it. And then Hillary Clinton's like, wait a minute, you're going to fucking record this privately and then get to take out whatever you want to make your little highlight sizzle? Like your own personalized, produced fucking video? Or are you going to have Brett Ratner direct it?
Exactly.
She was like, no, thank you, sir. We're going to do this in the court of public opinion. But yeah, like you said, I have no, the roller coaster. I mean, just even this morning, there's a senator from fucking Wyoming. And I'm like, don't you have some buffalo to watch over? And he blocked the unanimous request by Democrats to investigate the DOJ on the cover-up. And this fucker from Wyoming, who, by the way, didn't know your name before today, sir, but I know it now, blocked it from happening.
Oh my God.
So this is why I'm like, it's the whole fucking thing. It's the whole thing. But when I see everyday people, like people in my life that are like, yeah, but I don't think that's so-and-so. Like, you don't think it's possible. I had a conversation with someone and who was like, yeah, I mean, I know like Bill Clinton, but I don't, and I'm like, what, you don't think that he's possible of unconsensual sex? With a 16-year-old? You don't think that's possible? You don't think that's like within the realm of possibility?
Of course it is. Wake up. Wake the fuck up.
Of course it is.
And here's the thing. Every single one of us, every person listening to this, and us included, there are people in your life that are survivors of SA that you will never know about because they will never fucking tell you. And we are all fucking re-traumatized right now. And the fact that we feel like we're screaming into the void and no justice is ever going to be served is pushing us all to our limits. So just know there are people in your life right now that are really fucking suffering. I never, ever, ever thought it would be this bad.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of people didn't. Even the people that knew it was bad, like the people that are really in the know, like didn't know it was like, and didn't know it was so vast. I mean, remember how we felt about Weinstein?
Yeah.
That's like, you know, a fucking hour compared to a lifetime.
And I think what is so, like, this therapist that he was talking about, he's like, listen, if you keep waking up and it's like you're angry, you're sad, you're re-traumatized, you're thinking, how do I get out of this? You're going to work, you just have to pretend this is weird, how am I living like this? And he's like, it's because every day we wake up there's no justice. So once there is, it's gonna start, you're gonna start to say like, oh, there's hope. And I think the sad part is that waking up when you're like, oh, yesterday the Norwegian police opened up a criminal investigation in regards to the files from the Epstein. And you're like, but we don't get that, right? We're not, the United States is not doing that. And so we're not getting the justice, the vengeance, what we need,
We're getting blocks. We're getting reroutes. We're getting blocks. We're getting, I think we've done enough with this now. Don't you think we've talked about this enough? Don't you think we've talked about it enough? And while we're at it, you don't smile enough.
I fucking hate it so much because, you know, there are a few reporters who said, listen, it's already dying down, meaning the people in the West Wing, the press in the White House are like not asking the question as much. They're moving on to other pieces of news. And it's like, it almost puts another weight on you where it's like, okay, fucking Christ, like who has got to hold it up like so that we don't forget?
Because the only way is if there's like a few heroic moles within the Department of Justice. But they're like, you cannot look to anybody in this administration. No. Anybody. Like, they're all, I mean, look at it. Like his Secretary of Commerce, one of the biggest named people in the files that has actual evidence against him, lied in an interview. Lied, and then you see that like he actually had met with Epstein after he said he had, you know, he was neighbors with him, and he was like, yeah, I went to his house, there was a massage table, both my wife and I thought he was a creep. So Elon Musk, all through the fucking fight, like it's one big fucking, you know, Lord of the Flies island of fucking assholes.
I am absolutely agreeing with you. And you know who also thinks that it was assholes was children who had to write in code in their diary, in code,
in their journals,
in code, in motherfucking code, to be like, bitch, you put your crazy ass seed in me, and then I had to dump my baby fetus down the toilet. And I know that nobody wants to keep hearing this, but that's what's in the freaking thing. And he's done that multiple times to a child. She had to write in code because she was afraid that she would end up like her other fucking friend in the middle of the fucking golf course. You know what I want? Anybody
as fertilizer.
Exactly. And if I had a dog who knew how to dig up bodies, or if I had any dog who was somewhat trained, go fucking start to train and be a cadaver dog and set him fucking loose on that goddamn golf course. That's what I want. I would do it. I don't give a fuck. What are they gonna do? Shoot me? And they better not shoot my fucking dog. I'd send it with a fucking bulletproof vest in there and say, once he starts barking his head off, you want to know what that means? Dead fucking bodies.
I feel like that was Law & Order SVU episode 107-25. It took place in Miami, and it was one of those rare episodes where they weren't in New York and they traveled down. All of that requires like the DOJ to like do, like, there's so much stuff that's like, that is subpoena worthy. That's not, it's a moot point until there is a shift in power. It's a moot point. And that's why I keep saying the most important thing is the midterms.
Yeah, thank God we got those seats.
We're hanging our hat on a bunch of like loser frat bros who didn't like get a lot of girls in high school. Like that's, we can't invest any faith in them.
We need to bring it down. I don't know how. But what I do know is if people don't start getting arrested, I'm going to want to burn shit down to the fucking ground.
But who's going to get arrested?
That's the thing. And I have to mentally prepare for the fact that they're probably all going to get away with it. But if you would think, envision a future that is a matriarchal society. You know what we're not doing? We're not molesting little boys. We're feeding everyone, we're housing everyone, we're clothing everyone, we're making sure everybody has access to health care. We are caring about the human beings in our society. I don't know why that is such a goal that's in the stratosphere. Can we just fucking care about other human beings?
And we're not electing 70-year-old balloons to run districts and to run the country, which is also a big fucking part of the problem.
Agreed.
I read this really awesome story, like it came out, and it's heartbreaking, but this woman was detained by ICE and she has an infant at home, and the infant was like left with her 16-year-old daughter. So the 16-year-old's a sister. The infant is breastfeeding. The infant won't take formula. So this baby was left with a 16-year-old. It is so fucking hard to figure out breastfeeding when you've got a bevy of people around you, let alone when you're 16. And there was a woman, this is in Minnesota, and there was a woman who's an overproducer, and she had posted something about like, hey, if there are people out there that need milk, I have extra milk. And she was contacted, and she found this 16-year-old and the child, and she showed up with 1,000 ounces of milk and bottle warmers and extra clothes that her 6-month-old had grown out of. That's how young the baby is, by the way. And that's what, like, to your point, Wendy,
that's
like,
what women
that's
do.
what women do. That's what women do. That hit me pretty hard this morning. I was like, oh my God. But that's the positive part that I feel like when we're really down, we have to look at what some of the people are doing. That's why I'm like, fuck the government. Stop looking to the fucking government.
No one's coming to save us.
Supreme Court, half of them have fucking, fake gold plated knee pads for Donald Trump. So, but the people, like what Minneapolis has been doing, what the kids are doing, they're walking out of their schools and they're making headlines, like what they're doing. And that's why I think it's just important that we don't let them win again, because we're so sad. And we have to be sad because it warrants being sad. But eventually, when the day comes and you're like, I'm not as sad today, it's like, yeah, we got to do something.
Yeah.
We've got to whatever we can control, and that we all know is like the antidote to rage, the antidote to sadness is like, what can we control? Whether it's taking care of ourselves when we're like really, really deeply sad and we're like, like Logan Cooper, close your circle, do things that make you feel safe. Or if you're feeling a little more energy, like, okay, instead of just getting mad about it, what can I do?
Right now, Buster Talks and Women Underscore in America are the two that I found out with the Mark Tramo. They brought a lot of attention to it, and that's awesome. That is going towards what you were saying, Erica, is like, once you stop being sad, if we can do something, which is like, I was like, okay, I'm going to just call the DOJ, and maybe I'll just keep leaving like seething emails.
I just want to call the DOJ.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi, I'm calling as a very concerned citizen, and I had a pretty serious question to ask the Department of Justice. How did Pam Bondi become such a... Thank you so much. Have a great day.